Stella was in shock. Watching the secret footage of her husband and 2 kids, her mouth becomes wide open. As she watches the unimaginable man she married, she can sense her heartbeat in her throat. However, this must have been a joke. Her childhood sweetheart was her husband. She was his soulmate. She could never imagine that he was ever going to do such a thing. She knew there was no going back. For Stella Jackson, her family was everything. She married her childhood sweetheart Josh 10 years ago, and then their 2 beloved kids came along. Ben was 18 months old, and Emma was 5 years old. Yes, Stella thought in her perfect life that nothing could go wrong. But when she used a nanny cam to record her husband and children secretly, she uncovered something truly incredible. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Being a parent was not always easy for Stella and Josh. For 5 years, they had been trying to get pregnant, and it seemed that having a family wasn't on their cards. However, eventually, their hard work seemed to pay off. In 2015 and 2019, they welcomed their daughter Emma and son Ben. Finally, their family felt complete, but they had no idea what was coming to them. For Stella, it was hard to balance a full-time job while being a mommy. At times, it often felt like she was a superwoman, powering her route through whatever obstacle. But she and Josh agreed that she would go to work for the first 5 years, and he would be a stay-at-home dad. She didn't mind Josh, but Stella soon discovered something about her stay-at-home dad. Stella had started to notice that Josh acted a little differently. He seemed distant most of the time she saw him, something in his mind lingering. He would never confess his true feelings, however. She had no idea what she would discover about her beloved husband as she set up a hidden camera. Josh was usually a devoted dad, but it seemed that lately he had other things on his mind. That's what Stella was trying to get him to talk about, but he wouldn't. Where was Josh? Then, one night, Stella woke up to find her bed empty. She rubbed and yelled at her weary eyes, but Josh didn't respond. She peered through the crack of the door, and what she saw left her speechless in her hallway. Josh was leaving their eldest daughter Emma's room. What has he been doing? Stella looked around at her clock. Stella brushed it off as Josh was just doing his dad's duties. But she was so wrong. Stella had begun to miss out on spending time with her 2 kids, becoming even more concerned with work. So she set up a nanny cam to make sure there was nothing she missed out on. For most parents, a nanny cam is a perfect way to keep an eye on things. You simply press the record and can then watch the footage immediately using the app on your phone. When Stella took a peek at the secretly recorded video of her husband and kids, she was left reeling. Stella had set up the nanny cam before she went to work. She didn't know what was about to come. For some odd reason, she did not tell her husband, as she felt like she didn't need to. She opened up the nanny cam app while at work at lunch and watched the previous morning's video. She never expected, however, that she had captured something entirely different this time. Stella thought she would find some cute moments to send her and her kids to her family when she ate her lunch at work while watching the nanny cam video, searching for some peace of mind. The video started in the living room with footage of her 2 kids. Stella smiles to herself as she watches her beloved children dancing around to a song on TV. Josh looked as if he was doing laundry in the background, but he suddenly appeared in the shot. What he did next made it all change. In just a couple of minutes, her husband's true colors were revealed. Stella watches as her husband for over a decade and a half picks their daughter up. Then, Josh suddenly didn't do anything. She had everybody to show. He blows her belly with raspberries, which results in a giggle that would make a smile crack anyone. And as soon as Stella saw it, there was no going back. Stella is in her tracks, frozen. It had to be a joke, right? She watches her husband from a secret hidden camera, and she can't believe her eyes. Why would he have done this? She knew that she needed to show people. No one was watching him, he thought, but he wasn't going to get away with it that easily. Stella's 2 kids in the living room could be seen in the video, goofing around. In its bouncer, the baby jumps up and down to the beat. Meanwhile, the TV is loudly blasting a lyrical video that Perry released as a single in 2011, which is Katy Perry's #1 smash hit. The children are having fun. Dad, however, is about to step in, unknown to them. With the music turned up to full volume while waving a pair of brightly colored pom-poms around to the music, the older girl stands in front of the TV while her baby sister bounces up and down in her stroller. Stella's husband is seen in the distance, walking, holding a box. He places the box on the table and steps into the living room, watching the kids in the living room dancing. Instead of continuing with his chores, Stella is surprised to see him step straight into the shot and do something unexpected. First, he leans down on his daughter and pushes his hands up and down in a jerking motion. Yeah, he's doing a robot dance in the lounge to the delight of both his sons. When their father approaches them, they can be heard giggling hysterically. Then, along with the album, he also starts lip-syncing, mimicking, "Boy, you're an alien. Your touch so foreign." After he finishes doing the robot dance, he ends with a pirouette despite being quite a big guy. This incredible dad is still able to pull off some incredibly graceful dance moves. While most of the father's movements are traditional dad dance moves, it just makes the whole video all the more endearing for those who have seen it. However, Dad doesn't just dance with his eldest daughter. The baby likes the show as well. He sidles up to the baby with the baby bouncing, leaning in, and grooving in time. The baby grins with joy as her dad makes silly faces as he dances along with the music. At one point, the oldest daughter hands her dad her red pom-poms. He takes one and twirls it around, but the girl insists that he must dance for each of them. He demonstrates his stupid dance steps, making his kids scream with laughter. He takes the other pom-pom and goes through an amazing and sassy cheerleader routine. Then the daughter takes back one of the pom-poms, with the pair continuing to twirl them around, carrying one each. The song continues, and so does Dad. Dad proceeds to shake and twirl the pom-pom, making hilarious gestures, as Katy Perry's song lowers the beat and hits a crescendo. As the song gets close to an end, the dad drops a pom-pom. The epic mic drop becomes one of the best moves we've seen in the film. The viral video shows that while hidden cameras are often used for spying or more sinister reasons, they can also capture touching moments, and unsurprisingly, most of the comments reflected admiration and affection for the loving parent. It's hard not to appreciate the heartwarming footage. Stella, who originally set up the hidden camera in her living room just to monitor her kids, never imagined what she'd actually capture. What she ended up recording was far more special, a spontaneous dance session between her husband and their children. When she watched the footage, a smile spread across her face. She wasn't embarrassed by the video at all. In fact, she felt the world needed to see this joyful moment. The clip was uploaded as "Mom Finds Out How Dad Watches the Kids," which surprised many viewers expecting something more dramatic. "Am I the only one who thought this was going to be bad?" one viewer asked. Boy, was I wrong. Stella shared the video on Facebook, where it quickly gained traction. Later, Mike Jordan uploaded it to YouTube, joking that the dad had the dance moves of a goat having a seizure, but the kids like it. The video went viral, receiving over 2 million views, 28,000 likes, and thousands of comments since its posting in September 2015. This wasn't the only time such moments were caught on hidden cameras. In 2016, another video showed a father dancing with his daughter to Justin Timberlake's "Can't Stop the Feeling," again showcasing a dad doing whatever it takes to make his child smile. But not all hidden camera stories are so cheerful. Joe, frozen in disbelief, stared at footage he had secretly recorded. His heart pounded as he watched what felt like a scene from a horror film. Joe Cummings, an actor by day and waiter by night, had spent 2 years living in Manhattan. Despite the high cost of living and daily struggles, he loved the city. Things weren't perfect, but he had a solid apartment, a loving girlfriend, and a promising life. Still, something began to nag at him. Though his eating habits hadn't changed, food seemed to disappear faster than usual. Joe initially brushed it off, but when it kept happening, he began to question everything. His girlfriend Lucy had recently moved in, and Joe wondered if she was behind it. Though uncomfortable, he asked her about the missing food. She denied everything. Joe even considered whether she might be sleepwalking, but he wasn't convinced. One night, strange noises from the kitchen jolted him awake. Creaks, footsteps, and a thump. He couldn't be sure if he was dreaming, but the next morning, more food was missing. He asked Lucy again, and she maintained her innocence. Desperate for answers, Joe explored other theories, maybe an animal, but the apartment was always locked, and animals couldn't open a fridge. It had to be something else. Determined to find out, Joe set up a hidden camera. What he discovered would make his stomach turn. Joe came to town with determination and installed a night vision camera in the kitchen, aimed squarely at the fridge and pantry. He didn't mention it to his girlfriend if it was her. He wanted unfiltered proof. The video began normally. Joe and his girlfriend joked in the kitchen before heading to bed. For hours, there was no movement, only the faint light from the street. Then something stirred. From a dark corner above a cabinet, a figure emerged, a woman. Not Lucy, a complete stranger. She crept down, used a step to climb to the floor, and wandered the kitchen like it was her own. Joe could barely breathe as he watched her open the fridge, drink orange juice straight from the carton, and even urinate in the sink. At one point, startled by a noise, she ducked back into the shadows. Joe entered the kitchen for a drink, unaware someone had just been there. Minutes after he left, she resumed eating. Hours passed, and just before sunrise, the woman climbed back into her hiding place. Joe then entered the kitchen again, repeating her actions, drinking from the same carton, oblivious. Joe watched the final moments of the footage in stunned silence. It was terrifying. This stranger had been just feet away for who knew how long. Grabbing his laptop, Joe raced to the police. He explained everything and showed them the footage. The police took his concern seriously and returned with him to the apartment. There, they found and arrested the woman. After questioning her, they revealed she had been secretly living in Joe's storage space for over 2 weeks. Joe later uploaded the video to YouTube, where it quickly went viral, viewers shocked by what looked like a real-life horror film.